Hello and welcome to day 21 of 40 days of God's promises. Today in the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 9, New King James reads, "And he said to me, My grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, most gladly, I will rather boast in my infirmities, that the power of God may rest upon me." Here we have God's promise of his grace. And God's grace is his undeserved favor. What his grace means is that which we deserve, we don't receive. And that which we receive, we don't deserve. What it means is we deserve condemnation, but we don't receive that. We receive salvation, but we don't deserve it. That's God's grace in our lives. Paul is here dealing with an attack in his body. There is, in verse 7 of the same chapter, he says, I've got a thorn in my flesh. Some say this was a physical thorn. Some say it was mental. But whatever it was, Paul makes no mistake as to where it came from. He says, it came from Satan. A messenger of Satan has placed this thorn in my side. And Paul now is seeking relief. And he goes to God on 3 occasions and he's praying to have this thorn removed. God, I'm tired of this suffering. I'm tired of this pain. Please remove it. Give me some relief. And no answer. Then finally God does answer right there in verse 9 where God says, my grace is sufficient. Paul, don't concentrate on that thorn, but recognize you have my grace. For when you're weak, I am your strength. And Paul says, well, that's fine. I'd rather carry this infirmity that the power of God might rest upon me. There are some things in our lives that we're going to have to learn to live with. There's some suffering that we just have to deal with. Yeah, God can and sometimes will deliver us. But there are some things that we just have to learn to live with. That's what Paul is saying here. I'm going to learn how to live with this, recognizing that God's grace is enough for me. And what we must realize is when we're suffering, you may be carrying something and dealing with something that you had to deal with for quite a long time, maybe too long in your opinion. Well, remember, the reason why you were able to carry it as long as you have is because God has given you the strength, the power to do so. What you're dealing with has taken some other people out. It has caused some other people to quit, but you're still here. Still here because of God's grace, because he's given you the power. When others have quit, others have given up, others have been taken out, God's given you the power to continue on this journey, to continue in his grace. His grace is sufficient, and it is far greater than anything, any suffering that we have to deal with on this side. Again, thank you. Day 21, we're now over halfway in to our 40 days of God's promises. We pray that you would continue to follow along with us over now the next 19 days as we continue on this journey. God bless you is my prayer. Again, thank you for listening. Read three translations, and remember God's grace is sufficient. God bless you and have a wonderful day.